God bless America. Hello, everybody. I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. And who was right about the YouTube shooter? Yes, you may have heard yesterday there was a shooting event that occurred at the YouTube headquarters. Unfortunately, no one was killed. The shooter committed suicide after opening fire on some of the employees there. Currently, if I still understand it correctly, only one of the injured is in any kind of critical condition. The others are going to make a full recovery. So, just briefly, let us go over the events together. The shooters, the reason you're seeing this in Word is these are just copied and pasted articles from the interwebs with the shooter's face and name fully redacted. Yesterday, a shooter walked into YouTube's headquarters in California and began firing at employees. Around lunchtime on Tuesday, YouTube employees began reporting gunshots. San Bruno police report, says the officers arrived on the site a few minutes after receiving calls. Employees were evacuating the building, and police encountered one person with an apparent gunshot wound, while two others had already left the campus. Inside the building, police found a deceased woman who has been identified from San Diego, who apparently died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Early reports suggested that the attack had been committed by a woman attempting to shoot her boyfriend. San Bruno police later said they had no evidence that the shooter knew any of her victims or was targeting a specific person. There was evidence, however, that Doe had a long-running grudge against YouTube. In the Wednesday press conference, Barberini said that the anger against YouTube's policies was being considered the motive for the shooting. Now, that doesn't tell you that I was right about the shooter. Remember, I made two predictions yesterday. Number one, I was dead certain that the shooter was not going to be a member of the NRA, and number two, I was fairly certain that the shooter was not going to be a lifelong conservative Republican. You're about to see the evidence that this is exactly the case. Let us scroll down to this story. The first story, I apologize, is from The Verge. The second is, I believe, from the Mirror or something like that, or NBC. Excuse me. NBC Bay Area investigative unit has confirmed the identity of the shooter, and appears to have Jane Doe, and appears to have had a robust presence on YouTube. What is some of the content that this shooter uploaded to YouTube, NBC? In a video posted in January 2017, she said YouTube discriminated and filtered her content. Doe says her channel used to get lots of views, but that after being filtered by the company, it received far fewer views. Now, a lot of people have been complaining about receiving fewer views, about their content being suppressed by YouTube. Mostly these people have been individuals who post conservative or counterculture content to YouTube, but some of these individuals also were LGBTQAAIP plus creators that focus on content of a sexual nature, not pornographic in nature, but sexual nonetheless. Other creators perhaps were suppressed not because their content was explicitly, but was implicitly sexual in nature. And it appears that this creator may have been suppressed for that latter reason, that her content was implicitly, not explicitly sexual in nature. In one online rant, she complained that YouTube censored her content by imposing an age restriction on one of her workout videos because they were too racy. She says the company failed to do the same thing for stars like Miley Cyrus and Nicki Minaj, whose videos, she says, are inappropriate for children. And that makes me think, I haven't watched any of these videos, I'm just assuming based on the commentary that is being offered by NBC, that that this creator considers her work similar to works like that of Miley Cyrus's music video for a particular song in which she's naked for the entire shoot, and Nicki Minaj in some of her music videos where she performs implicitly sexual acts. And those creators thinking that that's a little bit unfair. But let's get on to some of the content that presents her points of view on the world. Doe also quotes Adolf Hitler in a personal webpage rant where she says, "Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it." Now, I'm not sure what this is in reference to, but anybody that invokes Adolf Hitler is automatically a bad person in the eyes of the left. So I wonder if this person is going to be called alt-right, is going to be called a Nazi for invoking Adolf Hitler. What is really indicative of this person's political viewpoint, though, is Doe's YouTube videos where she posts about animal rights. Specifically in 2009, when she protested the military's use of pigs in training exercises, a news report by the San Diego Tribune shows a photo of Dadgummit. I left the name in there in one instance. The shooter was wielding a plastic sword and spattered in blood as part of the demonstration by the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Guess what, guys? She's a leftist. If you don't know who the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals are, I will be calling them PETA for the rest of this video. They are a far-left extremist animal rights group. I call them far-left extremist because they believe that animals ought to be able to sue in public court for murder if they are killed. Do you guys understand what that means? That would mean legally that any animal killed by any other animal has the right to sue the killing animal for murder. You can't make this crap up. You can't make this up. This is one of the groups that the shooter was in support of, even participated in a demonstration. This individual is also a vegan. Now, being vegan doesn't automatically make you a fringe left-wing extremist, but it seems to me that there are many more fringe left-wing extremist vegans than there are anything else. Specifically, vegans that have bumper stickers that say "meat is murder." So I would just like to pat myself on the back. It can be hard to not be a little puffed up when you realize that you were so right on an issue. You feel free to look up these stories. Feel free to look up this. Well, I don't think you can look up the person's YouTube account anymore, but media sources across the internet have mirrored videos from the shooters' accounts. You can view many of them. You can read descriptions of many of them. This column that cites some of these videos is from NBC. Another story from The Mirror, I believe is the website, goes into additional detail about many other videos, and you will see, as I have seen, that this person is not a member of the NRA and is not a lifelong conservative Republican. In fact, probably hates and stands against the NRA and other conservative Republicans because of her views. I am 100% certain of both of these claims now because, and only because, she's a participator in PETA demonstrations. Again, if you don't know who PETA is, I call them radical fringe left-wing extremists. They hate the NRA. It's almost like a prerequisite of being in PETA that you have to hate the NRA. So I have no doubt that this woman is not a member of the NRA. Again, if you hate the NRA, you probably hate conservative Republicans. I have no doubt in my mind that this woman hated conservative Republicans. Probably the only thing that this woman and conservative Republicans would agree on any issue would be the issue of free speech. You may have noticed in a couple of these places that the shooter was making comments about free speech, perhaps she was one of those left-wing free speech people that are becoming fewer and fewer in number as the years go by. But that's going to do it for this video. Short, sweet, and to the point. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Hit subscribe and hit the bell for notifications if you want to see more content like this. Come back tomorrow as I'll be doing another video as usual. Not sure when I'm going to get to upload that one. My schedule is not as busy as it's been the last couple of days, but I'm just going to be in situations where I don't have as much time to do research, even as I did today. So again, thank you for watching. Come back next time. Until then, good night and God bless.